2025 Tour de France, Boulogne-sur-Mer, 209 kilometers, rain, sun, and then clouds and thunder. But it's Mathieu van der Poel, former world champion, yellow jersey wearer at the end of the day due to his stage win ahead of none other than world champion, three-time Tour de France winner, Tadej Pogacar, and in their wheels, well, two-time Tour de France winner, Jonas Vingegaard. How about that for a 1-2-3? Mathieu van der Poel takes the leader's jersey from his own teammate, the guy who won it in stage one, Casper Philipsen, took the stage win, took the yellow jersey. Well, it stays in the Alpecin camp today because it goes over to the shoulders of Mathieu van der Poel, who out-throttled Tadej Pogacar at the finish line, that 2-kilometer kick up at Boulogne-sur-Mer. And it was a hell of a ride to get out here on the western edge of France, 209 kilometers, raining cats and dogs this morning. In fact, yours truly didn't get out there and log a Strava run today because, well, my muscles were tired and the weather didn't look good, so don't go looking over on Strava for any of my runs. The riders in the mix zone this morning, well, we were able to get a few of them, but the rain was coming down so much, no one really wanted to speak. But we did get Paulus, we did get Van der Poel, and then they off down the road for the start of the day, and we saw four riders go free early on. In there, two national champions, Kazakh champion and Norwegian champion, and those two guys also hit the deck through a corner, able to pick themselves back up, but able to rejoin their other two escaped companions. On tap for today, we had four categorized climbs and an intermediate sprint, and their day up front really came to an end after that intermediate sprint. They stayed off the front for the intermediate sprint, but then after that, well, they were pulled back, and it didn't matter anymore. Back behind, well, we had some drama, and I thought we were going to see punches thrown. Jonathan Milan, Beniam Girmay going at it. We don't really know what happened. I think the part that made Milan angry at Girmay happened off camera as they were positioning through that corner. I think it was a right-hander heading into that sprint. Milan got the 5th place for the intermediate sprint. That's a hotly contested one as they're building up green jersey points there. And Girmay in the white jersey, he wasn't having it. Afterwards, I did catch some footage of Milan going over to Girmay's bus and apologizing, so they ironed it out. Also back behind, we saw Coquard yelling at another rider in the group, so a lot of tension in the day, and really I think the riders were on nerves after stage one. That was dramatic with the crosswinds and the crashes, and then the rain this morning. Even I was a bit touchy this morning and throughout the day. It really takes your energy away, and for the riders as we're heading in, all day, we saw Quinn Simmons up on the front, the American and the U.S. National Championship jersey for Lidl Trek, pulling so much today. And then on the Alpecin team, well, Sylvain Dillier, those two, Quinn Simmons for Lidl Trek, Dillier for Alpecin de Koenig, and trying to position their riders. Lidl Trek, I think they wanted to work for Thibaut Nice today to give him a shot. Too hard of a finish for Jonathan Milan. Nice, of course, crashed in yesterday's stage one. Unfortunate, because we would have liked to see the Belgian, what he could do in his debut Tour de France. Of course, has that good lineage from his father, a cyclocross star. Wasn't to be. As we were coming in, those final 3 of 4 climbs, 2 climbs, and that's where it really kicked off, because we saw Kevin Vauquelin and Van der Poel start to attack, and then that massive attack from American Mathieu Jorgensen heading into that final. And I should note that Girmay maybe would have had a shot on today's finish, but he was involved in a mechanical or an incident there around 10, 15 kilometers to go. So we had to count out our favorite Eritrean rider, Mathieu Jorgensen. Wow, he's really riding well over these first 2 days. And I want to underline his performance and also Visma Lease bikes, because our boy there, the 2-time winner, Jonas Vingegaard, the former fishmonger, well, he's out there riding so strong in this race. And we saw a little bit of that attacking in the Criterium du Dauphiné. Well, he's doing it again here in the 2025 Tour de France, being set up by Mathieu Jorgensen, going out on the attack, being joined by Vauquelin. Then that's coming back together. They pulled out an elite group of riders that had all the top GC stars, but we didn't see in there Roglic. Well, he would soon join back up. I don't know if Lipovitz was up the road, but Lipovitz was there with him when it all came back together between those two climbs over that final climb, then to the finish of the 2-kilometer uphill kicker. Julian Alaphilippe, former great, now not at his best anymore, rides for Team Tudor, and he was up there giving us a lot of laughs. Thrown in the attacks, and Tadej and Van der Poel were kind of waiting for Alaphilippe to finish his thing so they could get on with their business. Also of note, Lipovitz, he did throw in the attack going up the road, which is a great move, rode so well, podiumed in the Criterium du Dauphiné. When I was at the bus afterwards, at the Visma bus, waiting for Mathieu and Jonas Vingegaard to speak, they were having a laugh about Lipovitz talking there as they were cooling down on their TT bike, saying that guy was attacking with his rain jacket in his back pocket. And they said it hadn't been raining for the last 100 kilometers, and they were laughing at him for having his rain jacket, and surely it cost him some watts. And he wasn't up in the picture because in the end, it was those top 3 superstars, Vanderpoel leading him home. Julian Alaphilippe, after he was done with his little dancing on the pedals there, it was over to the big boys. The big boys being the world champion of Tadej Pogacar, cranking it up, but couldn't match the big boy power from the Dutchman who flies private jets all around Europe to get to the bike races. Mathieu Vanderpoel powers up to the line, gets a stage win, showing everybody who's numero uno when it comes to these types of finishes. I think a lot of you picked him on the day. I spoke about him yesterday. I also wanted to see Quinn Simmons up there. That wasn't to be. Thibaut Nice probably would have been nice, but instead it was Mathieu Vanderpoel punching it to the line, knocking out Tadej Pogacar, and I thought maybe they might exchange some words with the tensions being so high today, but instead they congratulated each other there at the finish line. They're good friends, and we shot some images of Tadej Pogacar there in his world championship jersey as he cooled down, but then he went off to go collect the mountains jersey, so he's not going to be in the rainbow tomorrow. Spoke with Nielsen Paulus, spoke with Jasper Philipsen, who was still in that yellow jersey, but not for long because it was no longer his, because Mathieu Vanderpoel was up there on the podium celebrating stage win, yellow jersey. Back at the buses, again, I followed Milan. I saw him apologize or give out his hand to Guilherme there at the Intermarché bus. Then it was up to the Visma bus where clearly Jorgensen, the American, was happy with his ride as he's been doing in these classics type stages up here, crosswinds, as we're up in the northwest of France, protecting Jonas Vingegaard, who's just looking fabulous. So keep an eye on these guys. We got 10 days of this type of racing until we have a rest day, and then we get into those high mountains. The 10th day, well, that's on Bastille Day, Mont d'Or, but today we're celebrating Boulogne-sur-Mer. The big guns have come out to play, and it's Mathieu Vanderpoel on top over none other than Tadej Pogacar, stage 2 of the 2025 Tour de France.